Now, Executive Suites with WPRI.com reporter Ted Nisi.
Welcome to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi. I know a lot of you are tuning in after Christmas, on the weekend after Christmas, so I hope you had a happy holiday and you're preparing for a happy new year. And this week we're spending the end of the year talking about a pretty well-known Rhode Island business. If you don't know their product, you certainly know their trucks. And I'm here with Rob Armstrong. He's the third-generation owner of Munroe Dairy. Rob, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Rob, we have some examples. I think we have the eggnog, right? And some granola, which we're going to talk about later on. Good time of year for this stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I want to start with giving people a sense, you know, people, even if they don't get Munroe Dairy, I'm sure they know people with the boxes on their street or they see the trucks go by. How big is the Munroe Dairy business these days? How many customers do you have? How many trucks do you send out? How does it go?
We have 30 trucks on the road, and we deliver to about 12,000 homes every week. We have 75 people working at the company. It's a busy operation.
Are you going out every day?
5 days a week.
5 days a week?
5 days a week, yeah.
What's the regional footprint? How far are you going with your milk trucks?
We cover the entire state of Rhode Island, a little bit of southeastern Mass, and a little bit north up into Foxborough and Sharon, in that area. We cover, I don't know how many communities altogether, but we cover a good area.
So what's been the trend for Munroe Dairy? Has it been growing and expanding? Has it been stable? You know, people are surprised that there's still a milkman operation out there.
It's been steady. We've been growing a little bit every year. We put on another truck this year down in Aquidneck Island. It's basically what we provide is a convenience. The milk in the glass bottle is huge for us because you can't buy our product in the store.
No store carries Munroe Dairy milk, right?
No store. So it's unique and it's a personal service. So it's something that a lot of people are not familiar with.
That's one thing I was wondering. How do you get new customers? Because if someone's not already getting milk delivered, how do they decide, I'm going to start getting it in the box?
How do they get the delivery?
How do they? Well, how do you find people who want to sign up who aren't with you yet?
We get probably most of our business word of mouth. We do a little bit of soliciting, door knocking, but the best source of new business is referrals from existing customers.
Who's a typical customer for you?
A young family with 2 or 3 kids, big milk drinkers. But we've got a variety, pretty good variety of customers. Like my mom, she's 88 years old, and she gets delivery because she can't get out. So it's a convenience, real plus for her.
Now, are you having any trouble winning over the new generation of customers? Is the customer base getting older, or do you find there's a good buy-in as people get to that age where they have kids and need a lot of milk?
No, we have a good influx of new business. I think retention is an important part of our challenge right now. Maybe because of the economy, people will start up and they might take for a couple of years and find out they can't afford it, or maybe it's too expensive. But there's plenty of business out there. We probably only deliver to 2% of the population. So there's a ton of business.
There's plenty to still win over if you could.
There is. Our challenge is to build density, so the trucks aren't driving all over the place.
Right, because adding someone in the farthest reach of Exeter, I assume.
Yeah, it gets expensive.
It
gets expensive. Each driver probably services somewhere between 300 to 400 customers, 300 to 400 homes in the course of a week. So he's doing 70 to 80 deliveries a day, and they leave at somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning, and some of them don't get back until 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So they're putting in...
That's a long day.
A long day, yeah. They work hard.
Do you have a lot of turnover with the milkmen, the people and women, I assume?
We have a fair amount of turnover, but we have quite a few guys that have been there for 15 or 20 years. I think it's a great job for the right person, but trying to find the right person is a challenge.
So let's talk about, you are the third generation of your family to run this company, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
But your grandfather didn't actually found it, right? It was founded way back in 1881.
1881,
so
yeah.
What's the origin of it, and then how did your family get involved?
Well, my grandfather, he was a salesman for a company called Cherry Burrell. So he used to call on all the local dairies, and he got to know the Munroe family. And when Al Munroe passed away, his wife approached my grandfather to buy the company, and that was 1936. So he bought it, had maybe, I think he had 4 or 5 trucks, a small processing facility, and from there he grew the company. It must have been a difficult time. I mean, I can't imagine.
Great Depression, yeah.
Yeah. But he built a new plant in 1952, which we use today.
In East Providence, right?
In East Providence, yeah. Same location since 1881. So it's been in our family since 1936. So it's 3 generations, possibly 4.
Yeah, do you think there'll be a 4th?
Yeah, it could be.
Your kids interested?
It could be, yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Now, were you always, when your father took over from your grandfather,
yeah.
Did you always know, as a little kid, I'm gonna be running the dairy one day, or I'm gonna take it over? Or were you always planning to do it, or?
I always had visions of being part of the company, but I've been pretty active for the last 30 years. But there was a stretch there that I decided I didn't want to have anything to do with the company.
Yeah. You rebelled?
A little bit. And it was a good thing. I mean, I worked for a few different people, so I knew what it was like to have to work for somebody else.
What made you come back?
I didn't want to pass up a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That was the real reason.
And, I think people will wonder, how has this survived over so many years when so many others didn't?
That's a great question. I mean, I was just saying, there are days when I wonder how we make it through one day, much less 130 years. But it's definitely the people that we've had over the years. We've been fortunate to have a great crew, dedicated, loyal employees, and it trickles all the way down to the customers. So we've been fortunate.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate.
All right, well, we're going to talk more about how you've been fortunate when we come back, but for now we're going to take a break. Stick with us. Coming up later on, we're going to hear what the most popular type of milk is and some plans for new products and expansion at Munroe Dairy. Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and we're talking today with Rob Armstrong. He is the 3rd generation owner of Munroe Dairy. You know their trucks with the cows. How did the cow print get on the Munroe Dairy trucks? Was it always that way?
No, it was not always that way. That was something that a good friend came up with. We needed to come up with a new paint scheme. And we did one truck like a cow to see what kind of reaction we'd get or response we would get, and it was a little difficult. We couldn't get anybody to drive the truck.
Really?
None of the drivers would drive it.
Not dignified for them.
It was just not something they wanted to do. My grandfather thought that that was the end of the company, and he saw us paint.
Didn't like it at all.
Didn't like it. It wasn't traditional. But we got such good feedback from the customers. They all wanted to know when they were going to get a cow truck in their neighborhood, so it snowballed. We had everybody asking.
But you had to
for it.
push your grandfather, it sounds like,
He was
to go along with it.
Yeah, he was difficult. And some of the guys didn't want to drive it.
Yeah.
But it's been, it's like our brand. It really is our brand.
And people know.
People know, yeah, when they see it, yeah.
Was there ever a time, I'm wondering, when I was preparing for the show, I was reading, it seems like every few years someone does an article about they're still delivering milk in Rhode Island at Munroe Dairy. Obviously, for a long time, the milk deliveries has been fading as the rise of Cumberland Farms and everything else. Was there ever a time where you, or maybe your father or even grandfather, watched as other places closed and said, boy, maybe we're not going to last, maybe this is going to happen?
There were. I think we were just too stubborn to quit. I think It was probably back in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. It was pretty difficult, but I think that the customer base that we have and the loyalness to the company just kept us going. I mean, we have a lot of great customers that oops.
Oh, mic went down.
Oh,
Don't worry
sorry
about
that.
it. Put it right on the table.
Okay. You know that they've supported us through the years.
How long have your longest tenured customers been with you in some cases?
Well, average customer is probably 7 to 8 years. But I mean, we've got a pretty good customer base in the state. So I mean, I think if we didn't have that goodwill, I don't know if we'd continued. There were some tough times. Yeah. But we persevered.
Is there something about Rhode Island? I'm wondering, are there Munroe dairies all over the country in most places, or do you think it's unique here that this has lasted and maintained a feasible customer base?
It's somewhat unique. There's probably a couple of hundred home delivery dairies in the country. But it's somewhat unique to New England. I think there's more in New England than any other part of the country. But it's been part of like you say, it's been part of the community. We are part of the community. People look forward to the milkman. They
depend on the milkman, right? He has to come. they hope no matter what.
Yeah.
Have you ever missed a delivery? You know, are there times where you just can't get out there?
The blizzard, maybe, of '78 was pretty difficult.
I can see that, with the roads clogged.
I think it came on a Monday. I remember I was on the road that day. And it came on a Monday, and we couldn't go out Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we doubled up 2 on a truck on Thursday and 2 on the truck on Friday, just because we had all that milk. We had to get it out. Had to get it out. Yeah.
That's pretty good, though. There've been some other big snowstorms since then. You still get out?
Yeah, we've managed. We've maybe had to put it off a day, but we've always been there. We haven't left anybody without product.
And one of the other things you did when you joined the company was expanding the number of products. I was talking to someone who said to me, you can get all sorts of things from Munroe Dairy now. It's not just milk at all. And I'm wondering, why was that so important in your view? And how many products are you selling now today? Are you delivering?
Oh, God, we probably have close to 200 products. But I think people look at it still as the milkman. So
absolutely, yeah.
Milk is our main product. It's probably 50% of our business, but we do some frozen foods, we do some bakery products, we do some
Italian stuff from the Hill, right?
Yeah, from Venda. Yeah. No, it's been good. I mean, I think we could not have survived on milk alone.
Really?
Yeah, way back when. I mean, when I first started, I don't think we had 20 products altogether. You know, our average sale might have been $4 or $5 per delivery. Now our average sale is up around 25 to 30.
Because you're already, so the key is you're already going to that house. So it's, can you get more into that basket?
I mean, we're grabbing a little bit of the grocery bill. I don't know exactly what people spend at the grocery in a week, but if we can take, you know, $20 to $30 worth of that, that's good for us.
And you know, another thing I was talking to folks as I prepared was they said it's very high tech now with Munroe Dairy. They're all people on their iPads doing their orders and stuff. How much has technology seeped into what would seem like such an old school business?
It's probably I'd say 50% of our customers are ordering online. When they have the time to order, they order sometime between like 7 and 10 at night. And they seem to buy a little bit more when they go online, as opposed to leaving a note, or sometimes people have a standard order, they get the same every week. So it's been good. We're doing a new website. We should have it out by the 1st of the year. That'll help a little bit. It's been
now, do you use the statistics that come out of especially those web orders? You know, you see, oh well, you know, if they go for this, they're more likely to go for that. Let's add another product there. How much do you do that kind of analytics stuff?
We're just starting to get into that. Yeah. I mean, we're grabbing a little bit of the grocery bill. it's we've had some good luck with that. But
Yeah.
I think that really what makes or breaks us are the guys out there behind the wheel, the milkman. If he's well liked and he's doing a great job, he's going to just get referrals, and neighbors are going to recommend him, and it really comes down to the milkman, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I have a little preference because I spend a lot of time on the road. But like I said, it's a great job for the right person. Our challenge seems to be trying to find
those people.
Trying to find guys that can work those kind of hours.
Yeah.
And do that kind of work. It's physically demanding, but it's their own business, and we try to have them look at it that way, as if it's their own business. We try to build as much of an incentive into the compensation package, so they look at it as their own. On
their route.
Yeah,
well, if you think you have what it takes, then it
yeah,
sounds like
give us a call.
Give a call to Munroe Dairy if you want to be a milkman. Stick with us. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about why the price of milk is skyrocketing in Rhode Island and elsewhere in the country. Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and we are talking this week about one of the businesses that some people are surprised has made it. Munroe Dairy, still delivering milk after how many years?
Almost 135.
135 years bringing milk to people's doors, which is just cool that that's still going. One thing, I think some people think you own the cows, but you don't own the cows, right? Where do you get the milk from?
We buy from a co-op. We buy from the same farms. We pick up from the same farms, but the co-op is owned by the farmers, so we do not have our own farms. But we're pretty fussy about the milk. We test it every time we pick it up. It's no artificial growth hormones. It's as fresh as you can get. We get it the day we get it. We process it and bottle it, so it's on the truck the next day. So I think it's as good as you can get. Now,
one of your milkmen once told an interviewer, quote, "Once you've had milk from a glass bottle, you can never accept the other again." Why do you think, I know you guys all feel strong about that, why do you think it tastes better from glass?
Because you don't pick up any of the taste of the container. I think, unfortunately, people get so used to drinking milk out of a plastic jug or a carton that they assume that that's what it tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
When they taste it out of a glass bottle, they're pretty surprised.
Amazed, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty surprised because it doesn't have any of that. And it's hard to describe, but if you compare the two, it's pretty obvious.
If you did a taste test,
yeah. Yeah.
It's not ultra pasteurized, right? What does
Correct.
that mean? Why is that important?
When they ultra pasteurize it, they cook it at a high temp for a short amount of time to give it shelf life, extra shelf life. So we pasteurize it the way we've been doing it for a long time. It's minimally heated to what is required by the state, but it doesn't have the shelf life like an ultra pasteurized product. I mean, we guarantee it a week from when you get it. So if there's a problem, we give credit for it.
Now, I'm curious. You see what people are buying. What is the most popular milk? Are people mostly whole milk people, 2% people, skim people?
No, it's low fat and
Okay.
skim.
Yeah.
Whole milk is becoming less and less, but it's because people want less fat, I guess, in their diet. But it's funny when people call up, they'll ask for either skim or low, but the last thing they order is a half gallon of ice cream. So,
so you say, yeah, what
it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe you save on the milk so you can get the ice cream there.
So.
What do you drink?
I drink whole milk, really.
Do you get sick of milk?
No, I don't get sick of milk, no. I mean, I drink probably a quart of milk a day.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, my cholesterol is fine. I'm pretty active. So
yeah, you look healthy. You look perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
You just show what milk can do for a man and keep him going.
It keeps you going.
How about the flavored milks? Rhode Island's supposed to be the coffee milk state, but does it overtake chocolate, or is chocolate milk?
No,
take the
chocolate
crown?
is more popular than coffee. But coffee's, we sell a lot of coffee milk. I mean, it's the state drink. Any place else besides Rhode Island, they don't know what it is.
And what are you talking about?
Yeah, they
coffee?
don't know what it is. So.
I was just reading a story the other day that raw milk and other dairy products hit a record high this year in prices. Farmers obviously happy about that, but what about for your business? I mean, you got to buy that raw milk to process it. What's the impact been?
It's taken a little bit of we've taken a little bit of hit because of it, because we can't raise the price of milk too much. I mean, even though it's our main product, people shop on price. So we're probably 10 to 15% more than the store. Mm-hmm. I think for what they get, it's a great value. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit in favor of that, but most people shop on price. So we're a little bit reluctant on how much we can charge for the product.
What's the outlook? Do you think milk prices, you think they'll go down next year? You think we're looking at the same? You're worried they'll get higher?
I don't know. I mean, from our perspective, the farmer doesn't get enough for his product, really. I mean, for the amount of work that goes into producing.
That's a hard job, being a farmer.
I mean, they don't get what they should. So, I mean, I think milk is, from the consumer's point of view, it's a great value for what they pay for it. I mean, if you look at what somebody pays for a bottle of water, and compared to a bottle of milk, I mean,
they didn't have to milk that water. That's it's 5 in the morning, I mean, or whatever.
There's a lot of work that goes into producing a bottle of milk.
I want to ask you before we run out of time. You have a new product we're looking at there, granola. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's a new item that we just came out with. It's a small batch granola. It's something we've done. We've partnered with Cookie Place in Providence, so they're helping us make it. And we just put it on the trucks, I think, 2 weeks ago, and it's been flying.
Yeah, people like it?
Yeah, it's really good. So
and
I'm
finally,
surprised.
About less than a minute left. Any advice for state leaders coming in for how to make things better for business?
I could go on forever on that. But I mean, it's, because we've been in the state for a long time, we've got a lot of history. It would be a challenge to start this business from scratch right now. Mm-hmm. I think, unfortunately, the people who run this state have very little experience when it comes to running a business. Mm-hmm. And we contribute quite a bit to East Providence. We contribute quite a bit to Uncle Sam. I think.
Only about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think my suggestion would be have somebody ride on a truck for a day. Let me know what they think.
Governor-elect Raimondo, get on that milk truck. All right. Thank you, Rob Armstrong, and thank you for joining us. Come back next week.